So the big question is this: how do you lose all the weight that you want and actually keep it off for the rest of your life, while trying to make sense of all the noise that comes from the weight loss industry? That is the question. And this podcast will give you the answers.
G'day guys, and welcome to the next episode in the Weight Loss Secrets podcast. My name is Baron Grant and I'm super excited for you to be on with me today so I can go through some tips and tricks that are going to help you to be able to lose weight, not only lose it, but lose it the right way and keep it off for the rest of your life. That's the goal here, and that's what we're going to talk about every episode, every step of the way. So if you're new here or you've just come to this episode and none of the others, make sure you hit the subscribe button or follow whatever medium you're listening to this on or watching this on. Make sure you subscribe so you can get every update every day that they come out with all the new, tips and tricks that you're going to get along the way. Now, before I talk about the topic of today, I want to actually tell a little story. And I want you to picture that it was 1975. Now, as you picture 1975, I just want you to think about it from a sporting sense, because that's all I'm going to talk about. Because I'm an unashamed sports tragic. And in addition to that, I'm AFL, or for those listening over in other countries potentially, Australian rules football tragic. And so I'm a huge fan of the Hawthorn Football Club, and that may or may not lose me listeners or gain me listeners, depending on who your team is that you follow. But I go for the Hawks. And the Hawks in 1975 were playing in a grand final against the North Melbourne Footy Club. Now, it was half time, and Hawthorn was down. They were struggling. And at half time, they come into the huddle, and the great John Kennedy. Now, John Kennedy was the coach of the Hawthorn Football Club, a champion coach, very successful. He pulled them in to the huddle, and he was just filthy at their effort. He was just not happy with how hard they were working or how hard they were not working, really. He felt like they were just standing by, thinking too much, and watching the game pass them by. Watching everyone else do all the cool stuff while they're just standing around and watch. And he gives this stirring speech, which I'm not going to attempt to do because I won't do it justice, but he says something in that speech that has always stuck with me, and it's a real line that I try to live my life by when I'm thinking about it, and that is to do something. And he says, he yells at them and he said, don't think, don't hope, do. Actually do something. At least you can say you came off and you did this or you did that. So his speech, if you want to hear it properly, go and look it up. It's magnificent, but he's all about just get off your butt and move. Get off your butt and do something. Stop watching the game pass us by. Interestingly enough, it didn't really help them. They went on and ended up losing the game. But I love the endeavor that he had just to get them up and going. And for me, that's the way we should live our lives. Less thinking and more doing. And that brings me to my next point. It's not all about knowledge when it comes to weight loss. It's actually less about knowledge and more about action. We live in a world that we are bombarded with information, absolutely from every corner. There is just information overload every single place you look. If you want to look up something about weight loss or about nutrition, you could find thousands upon thousands, maybe millions of articles, all contradicting each other, all telling you that this is good or that's good, or protein's bad, or fats are better, and whatever else. There's a million different things that you're being told about how to lose weight and get healthy. But the biggest problem with that is it becomes almost paralyzing for some people, because they seem to end up knowing a lot but not doing anything with the information, or picking a path and actually heading down it. I speak to thousands and thousands of people about their weight loss situation, the weight situation they're in right now, and how they can or can't lose weight, and how they could potentially lose weight in the future. And it doesn't matter where somebody's starting. I speak to people and help them on a weight loss journey if they're 60 kilos. And you might listen to that and go, that's crazy, they shouldn't be losing weight. But they might be really quite short and they want to get down to 55 kilos, and that's where their healthy place is. Or I talk to people who are 180 or 200 kilos and they might have 100 kilos to lose. It doesn't matter. The process is always the same, and it's about making good, consistent changes. But the reason that I want to bring that up is because many of these people that I speak to on the broad spectrum, from someone who's 60 kilos all the way up to 100 kilos, and up to 200 kilos, funnily enough, those guys at the higher end of the spectrum are normally more opinionated about what they know. And they like to tell me sometimes that, oh, I know all that stuff, Baron. I know all that stuff. In fact, I had a lady just the other day that I was chatting with on the phone. She became quite curt with me as I was talking to her about protein and the importance of protein on a weight loss journey and the importance of these type of veggies and how fruit works and what happens. And as I was explaining all these different things, she said, Baron, I know all that stuff. And she was very sort of abrupt with me. And I'm like, okay, well, my inner monologue was going, if you know everything, why are you talking to me? I didn't say that, but that's how I felt. I was like, well, why are you talking to me if you feel you know everything? And the challenge was that she might have known all this stuff, but she wasn't actually doing anything about it. So my question to you, I want you to think about your life right now. How much do you know? And is that actually getting in the way of you actually doing something? Now, this is not a podcast advocating people to be dumber and lose knowledge that they have. That's not what I'm advocating. What I'm advocating is less thinking, less watching, less learning, and more action. Because if we want to get to where we want to be, if we want to get to whatever our weight loss goal is, we need action. We need daily, consistent action. And when we focus so much on the learning, I need to know this, I need to know that, I need to know this, sometimes we never get anything done. And knowledge is not all powerful, right? Because if it was all about knowledge, we'd all be skinny and rich. That's just not the way it is. It's much more about action. I heard once, now I don't advocate diets, but I just like this quote because I think diets are short-term focus and you need to change the way you eat and be healthy for the rest of your life. But I heard this quote one time and it was, the best diet is the one that you stick to and the best exercise program is the one that you do. And I do believe that. If you choose a particular way of eating, then stick with it. If you want to exercise, then stick with it. It's the consistency that really makes the difference in your life. Now, everybody has an opinion about what you're doing because the knowledge that everybody has, everybody wants to share that. I remember a story, a lady on the program that I had a couple of years ago. She was on the program and she'd done really well. She'd lost about 20 kilos, doing amazing. She went to a luncheon or a dinner or something, and there was a friend of hers she hadn't seen in a while. And as she was, partaking of the food and making good choices, Mel was, she was doing great. As she was partaking of the food, this lady said to her, hey, what are you doing? How come you're not eating this? How come you're not eating that? And they started a discussion about, what Mel was doing and how she was losing weight, and she was really happy about it. And she goes, oh yeah, I'm doing relaxed keto. And you shouldn't, and then she proceeded to tell Mel, like, you shouldn't be doing this and you shouldn't be doing that. You only have to do that. And this lady was quite opinionated in what she thought was the best way to do it. This lady was overweight, but she had plenty to say to Mel, who was actually losing weight. And that relaxed keto was the best, which relaxed keto really just means I'll sometimes eat high fats and lots of protein, and then I'll eat whatever else I want on top of that. That's probably what relaxed keto means. But it was really interesting to me that so many people have opinions about what you should and shouldn't be doing. I get you to think about, are they the right people to be giving you advice? Do they know, really? Are they implementing it? Because if they're not, it becomes pretty obvious that they're not the people that you probably should be taking advice from. But everybody has a certain amount of knowledge. And so I want you to think about your current situation again. How much knowledge do you have, and how much are you actually implementing that knowledge? We need to get back to what John Kennedy said. Just do something. If you're looking for the best weight loss program or the best diet or the best exercise regime for losing weight, you're probably missing a trick. You need to just go and do it and set new habits around getting up early, moving, eat good food. Now, there might be some learning that you need to do in that area, but we can tick some stuff off straight away. Don't drink soft drink, don't eat takeaway, and don't eat chocolate and don't eat chips or ice cream. Right? If you're eating those things, you're not going to be able to lose weight, period. So we all have enough knowledge to make good decisions. We can then, once we learn a little bit more, we can make the best decisions. But don't let feeling like you don't have the right information stop you from acting. So my message today, really simple. Don't think, don't hope, just do. Just do something. Because when you do something and you do that something consistently, that's where you're really going to win, and that's where you're going to have the amazing results that you're trying to get. So Stop thinking, stop hoping, get out there and do something.